Pi mitzupeh zahav. How could you do that? V'hatanya, then we learn, tzipau zahav b'mkom hanachat piv. If you covered it with gold, where you put the mouth, pasul, it's pasul. Shelo b'mkom hanachat piv. Not where you put the mouth, kasher, it's kasher. Amar Abaye says, Ki tanan nami matnitin. When the Mishnah says it was mitzupeh zahav, shelo b'mkom hanachat pe tanan. It's not where you put the mouth. Look on Amud Bet. So first of all, Rashi says, "Piv mitzupeh zahav b'mkom hanachat pe pasul." Shatki'ah b'zahav v'lo b'shofar. You belong into zahav. You're not belonging into the shofar. Moshe, bring me a paper cup. One of the paper cups. Look at Tosfot on the bottom. And just empty.
Diagram.
You shouldn't say that the gold and say something.
What does that do this?
Zahav. Yeah, the gold is the
in the Beit HaMikdash. It's just an accessory. So over here, the Gemara says the Shama Tosfot is Tzipau Zahav b'mkom hanachat peh. Haya nireh lefarish. It would be easy to explain. The ovi hashofar b'makom shemaniach piv karui mekom hanachat peh. Meaning here, this bottom area, right, the flat part. Imagine it was thicker on the shofar. It's a little thicker. That's the easiest thing to say. That's mekom hanachat peh. V'shelo b'mkom hanachat peh. Hainu mibachutz. Where's shalom b'mkom hanachat peh? Here, right? Aval imken. So now, that's what we would think. Okay, let's leave it over there. We're gonna have the Braita on Amud Bet. That's a little bit more beferush, and we'll come back to explain it. But that's l'chur how you explain it. Mekom hanachat peh is if you put it on the edge, sticking out, right? On the lip itself. Shalom b'mkom hanachat peh means ki'ilu there's a band around it over here of gold. Okay, there's like a stripe, a gold stripe, right? Decorative. That's what would look like. But there's more to the Braita, so we're going to leave it for later. Says the Gemara, there were two hatzotzrot on the side. Says the Gemara, Vitre kale mi mishtame. How do you hear the two voices at the same time? Meaning, you have a chiyuv to hear the shofar, but it's going to get messed up from the trumpet, and I'll prove it to you. V'hatanya.
We're going to say one is longer, one is shorter.
Oh, excellent. V'hatanya zachor v'shamor b'dibur echad ne'emru. Zachor and shamor was said at the same time. Why do we say that? Because in the first in Shemot it says zachor, in Va'etchanan it says shamor. So how could it be? Hashem said them at the same time. Try as you might, you can't get two words out at the same time. But the ear can't hear two things at the same time.
Why?
That's what it says. Says the Gemara. So you see that you can't hear two things at the same time. So how are you hearing the shofar and the hatzotzrot at the same time? Lekach ma'arich b'shofar. Oh, like Leo said. That's why the shofar goes long. So you can hear the shofar alone. So it's going to come out. It comes out that what? Rashi, lekach ma'arich b'shofar tirutzah. So it comes out that the beginning of the shofar I'm not hearing. I'm only hearing the end. And that's okay, because I'll blow enough after the hatzotzrot stop that I have a shiur. Right? Lememra, are you telling me so hearing an end of a tekiyah without the beginning is good. And by extension, the same thing would be if I heard the beginning without the end. Rashi, demali sof belo tehila, umali tehila belo sof. Umishum debai lootu ve'atarvayo, because we're going to ask on both parts. Diyakai diyuka. That's why we made this to you. Tashema. I'll bring you a proof. Mishnah later. Taka' barishona. He blew the first tikiyah, right? Every tikiyah, every set you have tikiyah, teruah, tikiyah. Right? There's always tikiyah before, tikiyah after. So now you have to blow for zichronot, for malchiot, and for malchiot, zichronot, and shofarot. So Takabari Shona, he blew the first tikiyah of malchiot, and then he blew the tiruah. Umashach b'shniya kishtayim, and Paul was feeling healthy, and he decided to go long, right? And he says, let it be the end tikiyah for malchiot, and the beginning tikiyah for zichronot. He says, I did it as long as two.
You have to separate it.
And biyado ela achat, it only counts as one. But amai, why? Now that you're telling me that you could have an end without a beginning and a beginning without an end, so Paul will say, he'll bang in the middle, he'll clap in the middle. You know, that's the siman. That was the end of the first one, and now it's the second one. Have in mind, right? That's a problem. Tesalik lebetarte, let it be for two. Rashi. Takabari shona bepeshuta shelafnei atruah, the peshuta before, the tikiyah before. Umashach b'shniya kishtayim lefi shaya tzarich letkoa kan betkiyot b'tzufot. You have to blow two back to back. Ahad lepeshuta le'acharei de malchiyot. One for the tikiyah after malchiyot. Ahad lepeshuta lefanei de zichronot. So why can't I cut it to two? If you tell me that a tikiyah needs a beginning and a middle and an end, so you only have a beginning and a middle, or a middle and an end. You don't have a beginning and an end. But now that you're telling me, nah, as long as you have one side of the tikiyah, you're good. So let it be two. Says the Gemara, no, there's a different reason. Right? Even though Paul banged, you don't need a beginning, you only need one half. But how are you breaking it into two? As long as you go, it's still one tikiyah. You could bang, you could think, you could do. You didn't break the tikiyah into two. Doesn't work. So it's not that I need the beginning and the end. It's just, I don't have a way to break it into two without stopping. It's impossible. Right? Right? Tashema. Okay, bring another proof. If somebody blows into a bor, or letoch hadut, or letoch pitas, right? So he's either blowing into a pit or into a barrel. Look in Rashi. Bor vedut hadanin was really the same thing. Ela shehabor bahafira. The bor they dig into the ground. Vedut bibinyan ala karka. They build it up from the ground. Cisterna belaz. Right. Pitas havit kedola, big barrel. Funtin belaz. So now, so you blow into these things. What's going to happen as you blow? It's very possible that you're going to get an echo. The echo messes up the sound of the shofar. You can't hear a clear shofar. You're hearing garbled sound. Im kol shofar shama yatsa. If you heard the kol shofar, he's yotzeh. Ve'im kol havara shama. But if you heard a kol havara, lo yatsa, he's not yotzeh. What? You know if you're hearing it. You know if you're hearing it garbled or you're hearing it clear. If it's clear, it's good.
The call Haber as a repeat. That's the echo.
It's not the echo. Doesn't mean an echo. Most people think it means you heard the echo. It means you heard a call that's mixed with the echo. So it's like it's garbled. You're hearing it, you know, like in the stadium when you hear it at the same time. You're hearing both the original guy announcing it and the secondary sound. That's when it's messed up. But if you hear it clear, that's okay.
What are you doing exactly? You're blowing the shofar in a board?
Into a board, yeah.
Into a board.
Yeah. Or into a pitas. The Mefarshim say that they would do it because they made a gezerah not to blow shofar. So you don't want it to be loud. So you blow, but you blow it into the board so they don't hear it. Right? Amai. So now you blew it into the board. So what's going to happen? In the beginning, it starts off clear. And then it gets garbled as the echo hits. V'amai. Leipuk betchilat tikiyah. Let him be yotzeh with the beginning of the tikiyah before it become it. Before the sound gets garbled. So you see, must be. The reason why it's no good is because you're not, even if you had a shiur before it got garbled, right? You don't have an end of the tikiyah. Since you don't have an end of the tikiyah, it doesn't make a difference if you heard a bunch of seconds before it got garbled. You don't have a full tikiyah. You need a beginning and an end. So the Gemara, so now we have to go back to answer. There can't be the reason why you yotzeh in the Beit HaMikdash is because you heard the end. Two voices from one person you can't hear. But from two people, mishtame, you could hear it. Says the Gemara, Rashi, michad gamra dumir dezachor v'sham. You know what the difficulty is. Hashem made us able to hear it. The difficulty is how if nobody could say it, how do you know you can't hear it? Like, you know. Mitre gavre mishtame.
It's not physically possible.
If you can't say it, how do I know that I can't hear it?
You can hear it. I mean, something.
Obviously, I can't hear it. I can't hear it because you can't say it, right? But if you could say it, maybe I could hear it. Why should two of you? Let's say, Moshe, that you had two mouths, and you could say two words at the same time. Why would your two words be different than you and Leo talking at the same time? Assuming I could hear you and Leo.
But it's two different voices.
Right.
Two different
Pitches, that's why. Maybe.
So talking about person with one mouth and one vocal cord.
Maybe.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
of
Why is something so important that you need to be say they do the same time as
We're going to see. Says the Gemara, Umitre gavre mi mishtame. Could you hear from two people? V'hatanya, didn't we learn? But Torah, when they're reading the Torah, echad koreh ve'echad metargem. Only one person reading and one person metargem. So you see, the reason is because you're not going to hear. Says Gemara, no, it's not a proof. In the sefer. Thank you. Ela l'seifa uba megillah behalel ube megillah filu asara korim. 10 people can read at the same time, and they were being yotzeh from the Hazan in Hallel, and you're being yotzeh from the Megillah.
The sefer of what?
Of that same Mishnah.
Voice or the
That same Baraita. The Sefer says by Megillah you can have 10 people reading. Why? Alma we see, given the Habib, since people like the Megillah, once a year we like it. Right? Yahiv da'ateh, they pay attention and they can hear, pick a voice among the 10, all they'll be able to pay attention. Hachanami, given the Habib, since Shofar is also Habib. Why is it Habib? It's once a year. Yahiv da'ateh v'shama. He's going to pay attention. So when can't you hear Kriyat Torah? Nobody's interested, right? Says, but Tikiyat Shofar, people are excited. Megillah, they're excited. They'll be able to hear. Look in Rashi. Asara halodamya hamilta de shofar lodamya ela l'seifa. Asara korim ve'asara kolot yeshkan. She'i efshar lahem letzamtzem. They can't say it in sync. Diburam beteva achat shelo yu echad be'achor ve'echad lefani. Ela ma kiven de habib aleh chadasha hilo. It's new. Says Gemara ela. So now we're back to square one. Lama ma'arich b'shofar. Till now we thought you ma'arich b'shofar like Leo thought, so I could be yotzeh. But now that anyway I'm yotzeh with the whole thing, and I'm listening, I'm picking up the shofar among the what's it called? So I said, why am I doing? Le'da shemitzvat hayom b'shofar. It's a siman, so everybody should realize shofar is the main mitzvah.
So what do we do?
Not to blow shofar.
The Romans made a gizzard, I'm sure, many times.
So what happened? They're blowing two hatzotzerot, they're blowing the shofar. These are stop the shofar extend the sound of shofar
But that's as a siman.
and I'm
But I can pick him up.
I'm
picking it up.
I'm canceling out the.
You're hearing both.
the
They told me yesterday some story that there was a conductor who got sick, and he was home listening on the radio.
I could tell
And he said
one.
there's only 69,
yeah.
not 70.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
There's a story about this. About kids.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. ובתענית,
Something not important.
ובתענית בשל זכרים, ובתעניות בשל זכרים, on the תענית, the זכרים כפופים, ופיו מצופה כסף, מה ישנהתם דזהב? Why on Rosh Hashana זהב? ומה ישנהת האחד דכסף? היה כמה תענית את כסף? איבא יתאמה, כל כנופיה דכסף. On the Ta'ani, the mitzvah of the shofar is really along with the mitzvah of the Hatzotzrot. And the mitzvah of the Hatzotzrot was when you have a gathering to gather the people together. And by it says, Shneimar, Dichtiv, As'elecha shte Hatzotzrot kesef. So the mitzvah of the Hatzotzrot, which is to gather the people, is kesef. So therefore the shofar that's tafel to the Hatzotzrot is also kesef. That's the metal for kinufia, for gathering. Riba it'ema. HaTorah hasa al mamonam shel Yisrael. Hashem had mercy, doesn't want to spend so much money. Where do we learn it from? We learn from Sarat, that we take out all the stuff from the house before the Kohen declares the Tamim. Says Gemara, Hatam Nami Na'avi the Kesef. If it's in order to be economical, so let's be economical on Rosh Hashana. Filu hachi kabod Yom Tov adif. Honor of Yom Tov we spend, even though it's not economical. Rav Papa bar Shmuel savar leme'ebad uvda kimatnit. He wanted to do like the Mishnah and blow Hatzotzrot and the shofar, I guess on Rosh Hashanah. Amar le Rava lo amru, they do it with the shofar and Hatzotzrot ela b'mikdash, only the Beit HaMikdash. Tanya nami hachi b'makom b'med dvarim amurim. When do you blow Hatzotzrot and shofar? Ben b'ta'anit, ben b'Rosh Hashanah b'mikdash. Aval b'gvulim out of the Beit HaMikdash. Makom sheyesh Hatzotzrot on the ta'anit and shofar. Makom sheyesh shofar on Rosh Hashanah and Hatzotzrot. V'chen henhig, meaning like the Mishnah. V'chen henhig Rabbi Halafta b'tzipori. But Rabbi Hanina ben Terad Yom b'sichni, they both did Hatzotzrot and shofar. Uchsheba davar etzel chat. Not it's on Beit HaMikdash, Sichni and Tzipori.
They're outside. The
Outside.
Gilin is,
Same
we're
thing.
understanding here is Yerushalayim.
Not in Beit HaMikdash, all the same. V'chen, v'chvar davar etzel chachamim amru, lo hayu noagin ken to do Hatzotzrot and shofar, ela b'shar HaMizrach u'b'har habayit bilvad, only Shar HaMizrach and Har habayit. Amar Rava v'item shumalevi ma'ikra. What's the pasuk that you should do shofar and Hatzotzrot in the Beit HaMikdash? B'Hatzotzrot v'kol shofar hariu lifnei HaMelech Hashem. Lifnei HaMelech Hashem. Who the ba'ina Hatzotzrot v'kol shofar? Aval ba'alma lo. You only do it lifnei HaMelech Hashem in the Beit HaMikdash. So you see two things. You see that on the Beit HaMikdash you're supposed to use the Hatzotzrot and shofar with Hatzotzrot. You want to know why? Because it's a pasuk. And out of the Beit HaMikdash we don't do it because it's only in the Beit HaMikdash. It's only lifnei Hashem. That I don't know. You could
So
assume.
maybe in Beit HaMikdash you don't have to be Yotzei.
You have to be Yotzei.
How do you put it together? If I'm trying to Yotzei and trying to confuse me with Havana.
We know that you could listen to two, Moshe. Very bright.
Even two. A resort can be Yotzei with one. I'm going to be Yotzei with two.
Stay home and go to shul. Listen to one.
Yeah, it can't be Mekaven.
Ha'idna, Shavei HaYovel, Shavei HaYovel leRosh Hashanah, leKiyah veLebrachot. Amar Rav Shmuel bar Yitzchak. Amar Rav Shmuel bar Yitzchak. Keman matzlinan ha'idna. Ze hayom techilat ma'asecha. According to who do we say? Ze hayom techilat ma'asecha. Zikaron liyom rishon. Keman. Rabbi Eliezer. So part of the berachot, we're saying today is Rosh Hashana. Today is the first day, like Rabbi Eliezer who says Rosh Hashana is Damar b'Tishri nevra olam. Native Rav Ina asked the question, how do we say that at all? Shaveh hayovel Rosh Hashana letkiyav lebrachot ha'ika ze hayom techilat ma'asecha zikaron liyom rishon te berosh Hashana ita o biyovel leta. The Mishnah says he say the same berachot of Rosh Hashanah on Yom Kippur of Yovel. How are you going to get upon Yovel and say ze hayom techilat ma'asecha zikaron liyom rishon? Even if you hold like Rabbi Eliezer, that's Rosh Hashanah, not Tishri. Not Yom Kippur. Says the Gemara, Ella must be. We don't say it. You're not supposed to say it. So Gemara, no, Ki Katan Yashara. It's going on the rest of it. Meaning everything besides for that paragraph, you take it out. Like on if you say on Yom Tov, you pray the same, except for the one paragraph, right? That you skip from Shabbat. Okay, same thing.
Yovel is not Rosh Hashanah?
No, it's on Yom Kippur. Says the Gemara. Rav Shisha bered Rav Idi matnihach. He said over this statement as follows: Amar Rav Shmuel b'Yitzchak hadetnan. This is what we learned. Shaveh hayovel leRosh Hashanah letki'ah v'levrachot. Keman, who does it go like? The law Rabbi Eliezer. The Mishnah must be against Rabbi Eliezer. The Rabbi Eliezer, if it's like Rabbi Eliezer. Kivan da'amar b'Tishri nevra ha'olam. So he's going to say in his tefillah, ha'ika ze hayom techilat ma'asecha zikaron liyom rishon. The berosh Hashanah ita ubiyovel leta. It's not going to be the same, so he's not going to be able to say it. Must be al Mishnah holds that you don't say it. It's Gemara. Ki katani yashara. What's going on the rest of the berachot? 90% is the same, is good enough.
So you're saying
Tosafot.
that everything, the whole tefillah is the same.
You leave out
take
one
out the
paragraph
couple
that
paragraphs
doesn't
that
apply.
don't apply.
Right.
That are not the same.
תוספות asks, כמן מצלינן, זה היום תחילת מעשיך, התימה. הקיימה לן כרבי יהושע. יכול like רבי יהושע. כדאמרין בפרק כמה, לתקופה כרבי יהושע. So it means that we count the year as if it was created. What's it called? In Nisan. ואומר רבנו תם, תקיימה לן כרבעינה. We hold like רבעינה. תפריך משווה יובל. רבינה הכי כאמר, והאי כזה היום תחילת מעשיך, תהיית בראש השנה ולת ביובל. אלא ודאי, הדה אמרינן לי, must be the reason why we say it, לאו משום בריאתו של עולם. We're not saying it because the world was created. That's what Ravina was trying to say. אלא משום תחילת מעשה דין, שהעולם נידון בו להתקיים, או לא. זה היום תחילת מעשיך, it's not going on. Rosh Hashana, meaning Hashem created the world. It means this is the beginning of the year. You're deciding to keep us here or not keep us here. וזה שייך נמי ביום הכיפורים דיובל. תהוקש לראש השנה. Not meaning, not like the answer of the Gemara, like Rav Ina's question.
What's the difference between Kippur of Yovel to any other Kippur?
Rosh Hashana Yovel, that's when you have to blow shofar, so it's a full din of tefillot.
But other than that, so what's
We have a Gezer
זה
HaShabbat.
שייך נמי? What's
No, because again, on Yom Kippur of Rosh Hashana of Yovel, there's also kanere din and something else.
You pray like Rosh Hashana, no?
Yeah.
and not
So
a
then
Kippur?
Rabbeinu Tam gives a different answer. Rabbeinu Tam gives a different answer. Omer Rabbeinu Tam, de'elu ve'elu divrei Elohim hayim, ve'ika lemeimar debetishri, Allah b'machshava levrot. Hashem wanted to create the world in Tishri. V'lo nevra ad Nisan. In the end, it was only created in Nisan.
What does that mean? Hashem doesn't have time that Tishri have to do that. Tishri started when the word started. There's no month before the word was created.
No,
What do you mean Hashem wanted to do in Tishri?
don't we say that the Torah was created
Fast,
1,000 generations before the world?
Yeah.
Ask yourself your
So they have the
question.
dates, they have everything. Hashem doesn't have Zman.
Moshe, we don't understand anything, but we do acknowledge some sort of time before the world was created. Time was created with the world. So when Hashem started wanting to make the world, obviously, what does it mean Hashem started to want anything? If you want to get really complicated, I can't explain it, but we that's what they said. Anyway, next.
Double check those cameras.
I gotta
Double check. Shofar shenistak. If a shofar got a crack, and you glued it together, pasul, it's pasul. Rashi says, bedevek shekorin, glued.
Crazy glue.
Pasul, tahavale kishne shofarot. It's two shofarot. Look in Tosfot. Pirish bekontris, tahavale kishne shofarot. Mashma sheretzeno lomar, shenistak legamre, shenechlak lebet chatichot. It's not just split on one side. So you could open it. It's split both sides. Like this down the middle. So when you put it back together, I have two halves, and I'm feeling like the plastic shofarot, right? You put them together, and now it's two shofarot.
But a shofar is
Why does he have to
in
say
a
that?
shofar, the item, not
Once it came apart, so I put back two pieces. It's considered shofar echad v'lo shnei shofarot.
but I can't
Maybe
blow
that's
that
how
half.
that's how
Whatever you want, but it's two. Once it's two pieces, it's two pieces. That's what
I get it, two pieces.
That's all. Right? En ze shnei shofarot. V'tema. De'em nechlak legamre. Says, what do I need that for? Hainu dibek shevrei shofarot. There's another piece of the thing. The next part is dibek shevrei shofarot. So that's more like Joey's saying. He says, once it became a half, it's not even shofar. It's a half a shofar. And you're putting together pieces of shofarot, which is a separate psul. So why do you have to tell me shofar is dark is pasul? That's dibek shevrei shofarot. Lekach nere. So therefore, I want to say, says Tosfot,
Why don't you say in the middle?
the nitzdak mitzad echad leorko al pene kulo. You sliced it down on one side all the way from top to bottom. So it's not shofarot, right?
It's two hatzaim.
It's one shofar.
But it's two Hatzayot
No.
shofar. It's two half of shofar.
No, it's one shofar.
Why is this the shofar?
It's not. Ulefi she'en shem shofar alav. And the reason why it's pasul is because once you sliced it, it stops being a shofar. So when you put it back together, trying to make it back into a shofar, it's not. You can't, there's no tehiyat metim on a shofar. Once it loses the shem shofar.
But why is there shit calling it two shofarot? It's a good question, Joey.
He's arguing on Rashi.
But if you do it this way, maybe it is two shofarot.
But that's not what we're talking about. We'll see. Shofar shenizdak b'debeko pasul. Dibek shivre shofarot pasul. Right? It's multiple shofarot. Nikav ustamo. If it got a hole and you closed up the hole, if it will block the tikiyah, meaning if the new plugged shofar changed the sound from what it used to be, pasul. The imlav, but if it doesn't, kasher. Because if it doesn't change it, it's batil to the shofar. Hatokeya letoch habor or letoch hadut.
This is the specific thing you need to use to fill that gap.
We're getting there. Hatokeya letoch habor or letoch hadut. If I blow into a pit, or if I blow, bor is down, dud up. Toch hapitas is the barrel. Im kol shofar shama yatsa. Im kol avara shama b'fiyod the echo lo yatsa. Vechen mi shaya over achore bet haKnesset, someone that's walking behind the shul. Or shaya beto samuch lebet haKnesset, right? The Bilderichi is right over here. Veshama kol shofar, especially now that Bnei has windows, right? Or shama kol, or sheshama, right? Veshama kol shofar. So he said, my brother Yehuda has it, right? His kitchen is in Avenue O Synagogue. He could pray in his house like he's in shul, right? Veshama kol shofar or kol Megillah. He heard the shofar or the Megillah. Im kiven libo yatsa. If he had kavana, he's yotze. Ve'imlav, if he didn't have kavana to be yotze, lo yatsa.
We don't care about the Hazan.
The Hazan is obviously having kavana.
Are we kavana forever in the shul?
It's not everybody. Afal pi shezeh shama v'zeh shama. Maybe in America, we have to pay for your seats, and if you don't have a ticket, they don't let you in. So they tell the Hazan, don't have in mind for anybody that didn't pay, right? Right. Afal pi shezeh shama v'zeh shama zeh kiven lebo v'zeh lo kiven lebo. This guy had kavana, and this guy didn't. Says the Gemara.
Get everybody remember.
Tana Rabbanan, Aroch v'kitzero kasher. If it was long and he made it shorter, it's kasher. Because there's no. I mean, there is a minimum length, but as long as you have the minimum length, it doesn't make a difference. Girido, you shaved it out from the inside. V'he'emido al gildo, and he made it like a thin, like a peel. Kasher, because there's no minimum thickness. Sipau zahav, if he covered it with gold. Bimkom hanahat peh, where you put the mouth. Pasul, it's pasul. Shelo bimkom hanahat peh, kasher. Now, that's what we said so far. Tosafot said this is bimkom hanahat peh. Everything else is lo bimkom hanahat peh. Then it says sipahu zahav mi bifnim. If you put the gold on the inside, pasul, right? Mi bahutz on the outside, im nishtane kolo. Mi kemot shaya, if it changed the sound, pasul, it's pasul. The imlav, and if not, kasher, it's kasher. So now, Tosfot says, back in that same Tosfot, Bimkom anahat peh, haya nere lefaresh the ovia shofar, b'makom shemaniach piv, kari mikom anachat peh. V'shelo bimkom anahat peh, haynu mi bahutz, because it can't be inside. Imken haynu tzipa aval imken haynu tzipa zami bahutz. Which, how could you just say that over here it's kasher? It depends if it changes the sound. Ve'im nifaresh deshelo b'mkom anachat peh haynu rosho ha'achel letzad harachav. So maybe you say anachat peh is here. Shelo b'mkom anachat peh is on the other side, extending it. Ha'amrinan, we say. Besamuch hosif alav kol shu, if you add anything ben bemino ben shelo beno pasul. V'hayinu yecholim lefaresh tehatam v'she'en ben hakol ela shiur shofar. Maybe you'll say hosif alav if the shofar wasn't big enough and you add it to make it a shiur, but that's a doha. Right? Okay. Again, Natan Nikav Ustamo, if you got a hold and you closed it up. If it changes the tekiah, pasul. And if not, kasher. Natan shofar betoch shofar. You put one shofar in another shofar. What?
How much does it have to change the sound?
I have no idea.
Do you have to cover?
No, obviously no.
You have to cover.
Cover what?
The whole.
No. Natan shofar betoch shofar. If you put one shofar in another shofar, the Ran quotes Yerushalmi that says it's only a question if you close it. If you didn't close it, even though the voice changed, big deal. Kola koloch keshirim shofar. Natan shofar, it might get hard to blow. Natan shofar betoch shofar, one shofar in another shofar. Im kol penimi shama. If you heard the inside one, yatsa. Why? Because I could blow the inside one and nothing is happening with the outside one. Right? The inside one is totally chotzetz. The voice goes in the inside one. It sticks out on the top. It comes out on the top. The outside one is keman delit.
Why is not about to see?
It's doing nothing.
Wouldn't that
Ve'im
change
natan
the sound?
chitzon.
If you're holding the sound, if you're holding the shofar, it changes the sound. There's no more. There's less vibrations.
And if your hand holds it, it's not. I don't think that's a problem.
Only as Paul, he never tried it.
Ve'im kol.
Not holding shofar. No, if you hold the shofar and now you're holding the vibrations, it's going to change the sound.
This time, if you put two hands, it will change it. But that's the normal way of blowing. I
So
don't
now
know.
you're putting the second
It's still
shofar
coming up
outside.
from shofar.
I don't know if it makes a difference. Ve'im kol chitzon shama.
One hand.
Probably changes.
No,
the
it's less
sound.
vibration.
Ve'im kol.
Sound comes
Changing the sound is only a problem when it became a part of the shofar.
Depends how thick how thick the shofar is. If it's thick shofar, it's not going to change the sound.
Ve'im kol chitzon shama. But if you blew in between the inside one and the outside one, and you're blowing the outside one, then the inside one is changing the sound.
I have two colors, no?
I'm blowing two shofarot.
Stronger.
So your lips and on the inside
But
one
the-
doesn't.
It's on the outside one. But the inside one is changing the sound. It's like I'm blowing two shofarot. Rashi said, "Im kol chitzon shama lo yatsa diika mechitzat hapenimim mafseket hatkiah." Tanu Rabbanan. Another braita, almost the same. Giredo ben b'bifnim, ben b'machutz. If you shaved it down from the inside or from the outside, kasher. Giredo, he shaved it. Vehemido al gildo, and you made it just like the outside peel. Kasher. Heniach shofar betoch shofar, one shofar, another shofar. Im kol penimi shama yatsa. If you're the inside one, it's good. V'im kol chitzon shama. If you're that someone lo yatsa. Hafacho v'takabo. If he turned it up backwards and he blew it lo yatsa, he's not yotza. Amar Papa lo tema. Don't say tafacho kikituna, that he turned it inside out like a shirt, meaning he put it in boiling water and he flipped it inside out. Nah, for sure not. Ela sheherchiv et hakatzar v'kitzer et harahav. He changed it. He made the wide part narrow. He made the narrow part wide. In boiling water, you know, you can with that. So he's still pasul. My ta'ama, why? Kid Rav Matna, the Amar Rav Matna v'ha'avarta shofar kederech ha'avarato ba'inan. The way the shofar goes on the head of the animal, which is the narrow part first. Dibek shivre shofarot pasul attached. Back to the Mishnah, right? Yes.
Going back to the two shafarot,
Yes.
inside the other. How is the inner one kasher if your lips are not even actually going on that?
No, they are.
How is that possible?
Talking, the inside one is coming out on the bottom and on the top. That's what Maran says. You drilled open the other one.
Oh, you made the hole bigger on the front
Yeah.
and outside one?
I assume so. Try and get one shofar and another shofar. I don't know.
Who does that? Why is that a hashub to say? Nobody put shofar inside shofar. Why do I have to have a gemara for this?
I'll tell you what happened, Moshe. Your kid was playing with your shofarot, and he got one cord in the other, and now it's Rosh Hashana, and you can't get it out.
How's that possible?
How's it
It's gonna get
possible?
stuck inside and it's gonna
You know,
come out from
Moshe,
the other side.
the one
and it's gonna
thing,
be
the
close.
one thing you learn as a rabbi is never ask how, why. They have right.
Not this one.
Okay. Tan Rabbanan, Mosif alav kol shehu. If he added anything onto the shofar, ben b'minu, whether you added shofar, ben shelo b'minu, he added something else, pasul, it's pasul. Nikav, if it got a hole. So now, if you added shofar, it's shofarot. If you added something else, I'm not sure why. It's
Now we're
pasul.
talking about on the mouth.
Anyway, on the end.
Yeah, but so what's about this?
On the wide end.
in the opening.
Past, yeah.
So what about the Sipui Zahav? That's not adding?
It's on the side.
It's on the side. I'm not extending the shofar. I can't extend the shofar.
Oh, it's just talking about making it long.
Nikav ustamo, right? If it got a hole and he closed it, ben bemino, whether he closed it with shofar, ben shelo bemino, or he closed it with plastic, pasul. Rabbi Natan says, bemino, if you close it with shofar, kasher. Shelo bemino, I mean, not bemino, pasul. Now we go back. Bemino, kasher. So we're going explaining Rabbi Natan. He says bemino, it's kasher. Amar Rabbi Yohanan, vehu shenishtayer rubo, has to be that a majority of the shofar was left. Even though you're closing it with bemino, it has to be a majority was left. Rubo, michlal, right? Michlal de shelo bemino. So it comes out if I'm closing it with plastic, afal pisha neshtayer rubo. Even though the majority of the shofar is there, pasul, it's pasul, because something else is not patel according to this lashon. Ika de matnila aseifa. Some say this statement of Rabbi Yochanan on the seifa. Momekel. Shelo b'mino is pasul. If it's shelo b'mino, it's pasul. Am Rabbi Yochanan, who shenifhat rubo. When is shelo b'mino pasul? When the majority of shofar is not there. So I'm reconstructing the shofar. I got to do a b'mino. Mechlal de b'mino. If I'm using mino, afal pi shenifhat rubo, even though the majority is not there, kasher. Nifhat, it got missing. Now, this sugya back and forth, it becomes, but to put together all of the opinions, it gets very complicated. In Mishnah Berurah, there's a long piece, 2 different opinions, and 3 opinions. Tzipau zahav, if he covered it with gold. Mi bifnin, on the inside, pasul is pasul. Mi bahutz, if he covered it on the outside. Im nishtane kolo mi kemot shehaya, if the voice changed, pasul. The imlav, and if not, kasher. Nistak, if it cracked leorko lengthwise, pasul. And Tosfot says it over here, right? Lo tani hacha doesn't say in this one, im nishtayir bo shiur tiga kasher kit katani gaben nistak leorko mishum do orko lo mifsal ela im ken nistak al pene orko mirosho be'ad sof. According to Tosfot, it's kasher unless the whole thing. The Ran quotes Rabbeinu Yonatan saying no, even if a little bit. And the Mishnah Berurah Maran quotes an opinion that the reason why it's pasul or even with a little bit, he says opposite. Didn't say a reason. Any amount is pasul. So Maran says, why is it pasul even if anything cracks? He says because the vibrations are going to crack the whole thing. Nistak l'orko pasul. Yesh omrim afil bechol shu pasul. Ela im ken hiddeko harbe behut. You have to tie it with a string. O b'mshicha. Yesh omrim dafka berubo.
Why is it different than a hole in the
ויש אומרים שאינו ואם נסתק כולו אפילו מצד אחד פסול אפילו חממו באור וחיברו סדקים זה עם זה, even if you put it back together it's still פסול.
According to the one that it's in the stock,
a little bit, yeah.
Why is it different than a hole?
Because this is going to crack. The hole is not going to spread.
Cracks,
Hole won't spread.
When it cracks, I'll stop. I won't use it. But now it's good.
We look at it as if it cracked already. Little, if it was widthwise, so if from the crack down to your mouth you have a shiur tekiah kasher, but if you don't have a shiur pasul, we view the rest of it as if it's not there past the crack. The kama shiur tekiah, right? Rashi says nistak kulo, v'chain nistak lerochbo kol rochbo lehekefo. The whole thing around has a crack. Im nishtayer bo min mekom hasedek ad mekom anahat peh shiur tekiah hash kasher. Why? Hashiv le we consider keman de istakil as if it was taken off kule. So v'avole aroch v'kitzeros like a long shofar that you made shorter. V'kama shiur tekiah. So now that I need a shiur,
but we didn't speak about the shiur of the shofar yet.
V'kama shiur tekiah. Kama shiur tekiah. How long does the shofar have to be? Piresh Rashbag, Kedesh Yohazenu biyado, hold it in your hand, v'yira'eh lekanu lekan, and you see it in the beginning and the end, so it doesn't look like it belongs into your hand.
But shiur tekiyah.
That's what it's shiur tekiyah. The length of the shofar to blow.
Longer than a guy's hand.
Haya kolo dak. If the sound was very high, or ave, or very low, or tsarud, or scratchy, every shofar gets scratchy at a certain point. Kasher, it's kasher. Shekol hakolot kesherim b'shofar. Any sound is kasher. Goes high, goes low. Shal chulei le'avu ad Shmuel. They sent a message to Shmuel's father. Kedaho v'takabo yatsa. He made a hole and he blew in it. It's kasher. He doesn't mean he made a hole on the side. It means he made his hole in the front.
That's what you do for all the.
Says the Gemara. It says the Gemara pshita kulu nami miktakat chulehu. You all make hole in every shofar. Amar Ravashi shekadcho bezachruto. The shofar is on the head. There's a stuffing in it. So you take out the stuffing. This guy didn't take out the stuffing. He just drilled through the stuffing. Right? Mahu detema, I might say. Min bimino chotzetz. It's a hatzitza. It's not considered part of the shofar. Kamash malan. Since it grew with it, it's considered part of the shofar. Even though you could pull it out, it's considered part of the shofar.
Somebody puts a towel, a paper, a napkin inside the shofar.
That would be chotzetz. Yeah, that's like the gold inside.
Yeah, but this is just
It's
plugging the drain.
sounds like it's chotzetz. Hatokea letoch habor or letoch hadut. Amar Rav Huna lo shanu. Who's not yotze? Ela leotama omdim al sfat habor. Only the people that are outside the board, because the sound coming out is going to be echoed. Aval otama omdim bebor. The guys that are inside the board, yatsu, they were yotze.
Even though they're not hearing any echo?
Because they're not hearing an echo. Exactly. The guys in the board are not going to hear an echo.
You don't hear an echo when you're in the same spot?
That's what it sounds like.
Does it change? It doesn't change the sound of the shofar.
It doesn't. No.
When you do it to a tube, like
No, I'm in the tube. I'm in the board, and I'm blowing. You're not going to hear an echo. That's the assumption, right? Says the Gemara, Tanya.
Like right by the dome, you can hear conversations from the other side of the room.
Right, but they're clear. They're not echoed. Tanya nami hachi. Tanya nami hachi. That's like in the science museum. Tanya nami hachi. Hatokea letoch habor or letoch hadut. If you blow into a bor or you blow into a dut. Yeah, that's because they wanted you to know ozen shomaat ve'ayin ra'ah.
My type of Gemara.
No, they want you to know that Hashem is just like other guys on the other side don't listening. Hashem might be listening too. Right? Tanya mihachi. Hatokea letoch habor or letoch hadut yatsa. Hatanan lo yatsa. Doesn't it say you're not yotze? Elalav shma mina kedrav huna. When you're not yotze, when you're outside. When you're yotze, when you're inside.
When he said letoch habor, it's obviously outside.
Nothing is obvious.
Why?
Ike derami luhu mirma. You're right. It sounds good. Like
Betoch habor, you're right.
Tenan hatokea letoch habor or letoch hadut lo yatsa. V'hatanya yatsa. Amar Rav Huna lo kasha. Kan lo otama omdim al sfat habor, they're not yotze. Kan lo otama omdim bebor, they are yotze. Baruch Adonai le'olam.
Hanania ben Akasha Omer Sagot Ko Sever Har Balam Taram Ko Neymar Adonai Hafez Leman Ko Yazid Ravi Adis
Kadal vi kadash merava. Ani gibna kote ve mi kote sfakule kre shuher. Ay yakun makom itafot Israel ba'agala man kadid yuame. يدانا الخون خون الناس نانا حميني قدام الاشمي برا عمرو امين يشنا مرضى من شماع حين سواب شواب نخما بشي سبع رفو الله هذا كفرا
Last question.
Yes.
Rabbi, so if a guy right now can't blow the shofar properly, he's coming in good, come bad, it's good, according to what we just said?
What's the question? He can't blow shofar properly.
He's not blowing it, but you don't get it out properly.
No. He has to get it out. But even if it comes out very scratchy, it's good. But it has to come out.
Shabbat shalom. Kol tov.